Hello everybody! Today is day 15 of the cycling journey. Started in Walsh, Alberta, just on the edge of the border for the province of Saskatchewan, and actually cycled 170 kilometers today, by far my record, all the way out here to Swift Current. And as often happens when you're crossing the country cycling, it hadn't happened yet, but it certainly happened big time today. After driving about 80 or cycling about 80 kilometers, I bumped into three other cyclists. There was Sam and Sean and William, and we were all kind of around our 14th or 15th day, but some of us took more rest time than others, and these fellows were pretty young, so they had started late June, early July, and so we all met up, and we were all pretty excited, not because of the amazing views of mountainous regions of the Rockies in British Columbia, but because as we kind of exchanged between each other, it was the first time we actually had the wind at our back since the beginning of our trip. So while the winds are prevailingly west to east in Canada, that's at cloud level and high altitude. On the ground, things can be quite different, as we've experienced so far. So anyway, huge tailwind, really nice, a lot of fun to cycle, and put in 170 kilometers. Took a nice shower, got a bit of sleep, and came back out here to take a short video for you guys. So a little bit about Swift Current before I launch into the honoring. I'm just going to do a little switch here of my screen. I'm going to tell you a little bit about where I am right now. And this is a memorial that was put in place not too long ago. It used to be at the Swift Current Broncos hockey rink, but they set it up here, and it's somewhat tragic. There's 4 hockey players who unfortunately passed away during a bus crash back in the 1980s. This is not to be confused with the Humboldt Broncos crash, where I think 16 players were deceased in 2018. But this has certainly left a big mark on the community. And so Trent and Scott and Brent Ruff, who actually was the little brother of Lindy Ruff, who was the captain of the Buffalo Sabres, and Chris Mantica. So these are the fellas who, unfortunately, they're memorialized here. They've done something pretty nice with some hockey sticks, and we can spend a little bit of time here, like I am doing today, remembering this unfortunate accident, and also thinking about the very, very sad Humboldt Broncos bus crash from 2018. And since I was in Swift Current, I thought this was an important place to stop at, and perhaps tell you a little bit more about Swift Current Broncos and their past, and some of the tragedies that occurred for them, but also, I'm not going to go into the details of it, but there's a coach there, and Sheldon Kennedy played, very complex issue, and involved mental health, interesting to read up on that if you want to know a little bit more, and it certainly touches on the subject of mental health. And even Sheldon Kennedy himself, when the Humboldt Broncos accident occurred, he went and sort of lessons learned from what he experienced, and tried to guide the Broncos and all the families through a very, very difficult time. So now moving on, I'm already at 4 minutes, my God. Today we honor ma tante Yvette Lapierre and also Nicole McCrory. So ma tante Yvette, Nicole McCrory, I'm going to find a good spot to put this plaque on for everybody to find, and put the 3 words identifiers. Ma tante Yvette, yes, ma tante Yvette, mon oncle Gil, memories of them, family reunion, a special occasion. You could always count on their presence. They would drive that back and forth approximately 20 hours to join us for a wedding, for a New Year's gathering, and you can always count on Manon Gil to arrive at the hall with a case of beer on one hand and a bottle of liquor on the other, and and have a seat and be with us and having fun and celebrating and partying and on occasion maybe falling asleep for a little while. Well, all the driving he was doing, you can't really blame him for being tired. But yeah, so that's a bit of a family story that those of us, the Morins who would participate in these, recall those moments very well. And yes, ma tante Yvette est nurse, voyons, je cherche mon terme en français, une infirmière. Justement dans notre famille, et puis c'est ça, avec ses deux enfants, Angèle et Liane. Donc je vous dis bonjour à vous aussi. On honore votre mère aujourd'hui, et puis on pense à vous, et puis c'est ça. Tante Yvette, un autre petit mot pour elle pour finir. Moi, j'étais pas peut-être dans la famille immédiate de Tante Yvette, mais vraiment, je l'ai jamais vu de mauvaise humeur dans toute ma vie. C'était une personne qui partageait une énergie toujours très positive et optimiste. Et c'était tellement... On se sentait bien quand on était avec Tante Yvette. Donc c'est ça, les petits mots. Et puis c'est la fin du jour 15 de Walsh, Saskatchewan, jusqu'à Swift Current, non, Walsh, Alberta, jusqu'à Swift Current en Saskatchewan.